What's up, guys? It's your man KP67s bringing you another video today. And today we're going to be going back to the Imperial Academy. It is Saturday after all. And we're going to be going straight into the meat and potatoes of it, shall we say. And we're going to be talking about Gar Saxon's second in command, I suppose. The Imperial Super Commando. Yes, Super Commando. Not Super Pooper, as some people like to call him. I think that's kind of stupid, but whatever. As you can see, the Super Commando is an Empire attacker, and when you look at his stats here, he has a good amount of strength and agility here with a good amount of physical damage and critical chance, and a decent amount of armor that he gets from the two stats as well. Surprisingly, he's actually quite tanky for an attacker, much on par with Darth Vader, and coming close to what Gar Saxon can do. I have him currently modded for quite a bit of protection. Speed, I think base 80 speed is like the minimum people should shoot for, so I'm quite happy that I hit that. Obviously, with slow remodding, slowly getting better mods, I'll push it up. Critical damage is boosted up a bit. Potency could use a little bit of love, so could his physical damage in this case, sitting at 2,900. I would want to get it above 3,000, but his critical chance is looking beautiful there, 47% critical chance. Obviously getting it to 50 and I'd be like, hey, that'd be perfect, but I could live with that. When you look at his armor here, like I said, he's about on par with Darth Vader, sitting at 37% armor, which is pretty decent. He's going to compress a lot of damage that can be done to him. And then when you look at his special damage and resistance, nothing too crazy. So where can you farm the Imperial Super Commando? Again, he's located in a free-to-play position. Battle 8D in the Cantina nodes. Keep in mind, just like Gar Saxon, he is an expensive node. 16 energy in this case, so he will take a bit of time to farm up. I think it took me like a month to finish farming him, just because of RNG and the fact that it's a 16 energy node. So it takes a bit of time, but when you get there, you should be good. Going into the Super Commando's gear, his gear is annoying. I will give him that. You need about 5 Mark III Carbantes, you need 4 stun cuffs, and you need a whole ton of the Mark IV laptops, as well as a couple stun guns, hypo syringes. He needs a little bit of everything after that. Interestingly, actually, to get him to gear 12, he is the only character who needs a golden laptop, the Mark VI laptop. Why? I have no idea. It doesn't do anything to help him because it gives him special damage, to which he doesn't do. So, I don't know if that's their way of saying, hey, we wanted to kind of nerf this character so he didn't get too strong. But, I'd like an explanation as to why that is. I really would. But anyways, like I said, his gear, a little on the annoying side. It will take a bit of time to farm up the gear to get him to the level of viability that you would want him to get to. Going into his abilities now, we have his basic here, Seize the Advantage. Deal physical damage to target enemy with a 70% chance to inflict offense down for 2 turns, and attack again if the target has less than 50% turn meter. This is pretty cool because this is essentially, as long as the character has less than 50% turn meter, he does a double tap. If they have more, he only shoots once, and in both instances, he has a chance to inflict offense down. This is a reason why I would want his potency to go up a little bit, because I would want to just kind of dampen down attacks, so that way my Imperial Super Commando, Gar Saxon, a counter squad, could survive a little bit longer. Then we go into his only special here, Superior Tactics. Deal physical damage to the target enemy, dispel all buffs on them, and inflict buff immunity for 2 turns. This is pretty clutch at shutting down a character who likes to taunt a lot. Darth Scion, removing a taunt off of Baze Malbus, shutting down a auto taunter like General Kenobi. It's a great way to shut down those tanks where there's a conditional taunt which can pop up at the most inopportune time. In addition, he has a very, very low cooldown on this move, only a cooldown of 2. So the faster that Imperial Super Commando gets to move, the more often he's going to be able to put buff immunity on other characters, which is great. And then we have his unique, which ties it all together, which is called Upper Hand. Imperial Super Commando has a plus 65% counter chance and gains 15% offense for each enemy with no buffs, okay? No buffs. So the thing here is that you want to try to dispel as many times as you possibly can in order to prevent the opposition from getting any buffs. So that way you maximize his offense. So in that case, it would be 15 times 5, which is a 75% increased offense, assuming the other side has no buffs. In addition, with his counter chance, if you put him under a Gar Saxon lead, which gives 50% counter chance, you have essentially a 100% counter chance, which means that anyone with an AoE will hit Imperial Super Commando, and not only will Super Commando counter, but he will counter twice. The reason being is that after a character does an AoE, their turn meter is now 0%, which is, like I said in his basic, less than 50% turn meter, he gets to double tap, and Gar Saxon gets to assist the Imperial Super Commando for every tap. So in which case, you actually get shot 4 times, twice by Imperial Super Commando, twice by Gar Saxon. So it's actually a really, really good unique, especially under a Gar Saxon lead, and it's quite strong and can actually rip off quite a bit of health off characters if you pair the Mandalorians with the right squad setup in this case. So going into his mods here, it's a little bit of a kind of mishmash, a jumble of mods, shall we say. I do have 4 critical damage mods on him, a critical chance, and a tenacity mod. I would want both to be critical chance. I have speed on his arrow, I have protection on the cross, and then I have health randomly on the triangle. You would probably want that to be critical damage, just saying. And then his cross, again, is kind of up to you. If you want more survivability, protection, if you want those debuffs, potency, if you want him to hit a little harder, offense could be options for you. Much like most attackers, the secondaries I would try to aim for would be speed, critical chance, and protection personally. Again, depending on what you want to shore up. If you want his primary to be potency, you can look for a lot more offense on the secondaries. If you want offense on the cross, then you can look for extra potency on the secondaries. So basically, whatever your primary is for the cross, the secondary opposite that you would want would be your 4th choice. But the big 3 you should aim for at all times are speed, critical chance, and protection for the Imperial Super Commando. So, with respect to his uses, like I said, the Imperial Super Commando is extremely useful under our Gar Saxon lead. You need to pair the 2 Mandalorians together. In my own personal opinion, I think that they really synergize very well. Between the 2 of them, they can actually output quite a bit of damage and help DPS down an AoE attacker very quickly, as well as the fact that you can kind of take advantage of creating a full counter squad with Gar Saxon as the lead. So you would have Gar Saxon, the Imperial Super Commando, and mix in, me personally, I would want to mix in counterattackers like Visus Mar, who counterattacks 100% of the time, and Count Dooku, who counterattacks 100% of the time, and just throwing in something like Royal Guard, who can stun and inflict speed down, which helps, just kind of helps speed up Gar Saxon's TM control AoE. So the Imperial Super Commando by himself he's an okay character. He really shines under Gar Saxon. So essentially, if you're farming the Super Commando, you better be farming Gar Saxon at the same time. Like I said, you would want to make the most of this character, and Gar Saxon would be your man in that case. Alright guys, that concludes this review. I will talk about the ship the Gauntlet Starfighter, as you can see here, really quickly, in a separate video about ships. But suffice to say, the Imperial Super Commando is nice. If you don't have Gar Saxon, I wouldn't worry too much about him. But if you have Gar Saxon, then I would get Super Commando just because they pair really well together. If you really like this video, go ahead, leave a like, comment down at the bottom, and subscribe for more videos. Like I said, I'm glad that I adhered to a schedule this week, and I'm going to keep rolling videos out your way to keep educating everybody on the dark side. All right, guys, have a good night.